Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angryprepper. Today's video, we're going to talk about the incoming heat wave that we're going to be seeing for the next couple of weeks. So, guys, for a lot of people that know, in the Southwest, they're going to experience this historic, as they put it, heat wave where temperatures are going to be reaching over 120. The issue is, guys, that I think over 100 degrees for a long period of time starts to stress out a lot of things, especially the human body. Now, obviously, power stations and things of that nature, they're going to be stressed as well, as people are going to continue to crank up their AC to meet the demands of cooling off their home because the heat outside is starting to come in. Once you start entertaining that endless cycle of it gets hot outside, let me lower the AC temp, everybody starts doing it. That's going to cause a power outage, which is definitely going to fuck millions of people. Again, this depends on where you are in the country. But between Arizona, Texas, and part of California, they're experiencing this bad heat wave right now that is undoubtedly going to hospitalize millions of people and probably wind up killing thousands of people. Last year, Europe experienced the hottest season ever recorded. Something like 21 or 21,000 people died from heat-related injuries, as they put it. And so that was last year. This year, we're sort of experiencing something like that here in the United States, but again, specifically Texas, Arizona, and part of California. I'm pretty sure Nevada is experiencing it as well, a lot of those Southwest states. But here in New York City, we're experiencing high 80s, low 90s, which is, we all prefer to stay there. But in those states, the Southwest states, guys, they're going to see a problem if this continues. They need a bit of a break. It means they need some cool weather, more rain, whatever it is, to cool it off so people are not pumping their ACs and straining the electrical grid system connected to that area, because undoubtedly it's going to happen. They're going to have blackouts. And if they have blackouts during this heat wave, that's going to complicate so many things, and a lot of people will die. Not might, but will. Now, the amount of people, the number, I don't know. No one knows. But they know that it's going to be in the thousands if they have a blackout. And that blackout goes on for longer than a couple of hours. So all you need, guys, is a couple of hours, and people will be dying from heat-related injuries. Obviously, guys, scientists are paying attention to what's going on. They are keeping a close eye on this temperature, because we're seeing this effect all over the world. So it wasn't like Europe experienced it last year, and I think the year before that, it was like Asian countries that experienced it as well. India specifically, they got their asses handed to them with heat waves and extreme heat weather, So now Texas Southwest states are experiencing it as well. Fine. The problem, guys, is that, again, the blackout, that's more for concern than anything. And older people are going to be the ones affected by this mainly, and small kids, like babies and shit like that. They're going to be affected by this. So one has to figure out a way how to keep cool in this heat wave. Now, it's unreasonable to leave the area and go somewhere else unless you have relatives somewhere that are in a cooler area, cooler climate area. I would say go with them if you can. The pool might be the option, but if your pool is sitting out in the sun, it's undoubtedly going to get hot as well. So trying to cool yourself off is not going to work if your pool is out in the open. If you have an indoor pool because you're rich, you possibly have an area, you have an area where you can definitely cool off. But a lot of people are going to be tasked with the job of trying to keep themselves cool, family members cool, and especially if you have elderly that live with you, you definitely have to keep them cooled off, because this is going to be an issue for them if it gets too hot, especially if there's a power outage. Now, switching gears, moving down to Florida, or over to Florida, if you will. Florida is experiencing an unprecedented heat wave in the ocean. So they're recording the ocean's temperature right now, which is supposed to be around 80, 85 degrees, is now at 90, 95 degrees. Every degree counts, guys, when you're talking about marine life in water and heat. Every degree counts. Now, so obviously fish are probably going to move out of the area because they're like, holy shit, man, it's hot. Let's go somewhere cooler. And they're going to travel up north if they can. Those fish that are dependent on the reefs that are down there, the reefs are experiencing so much heat for a long period of time, they're probably going to start bleaching, which means losing their color and dying off. Scientists are very concerned about this, and I'm reading the articles on the hot water around Florida and how it's getting hot, and if you want it to cool off, you really can't, because you're sitting on the beach, you're like, man, this is fucking hot, let me go into the ocean, and you're like, what the fuck, you know, now the ocean's hot. Your brain is trying to figure out what's going on, because we associate water with cool. You walk into that cool, you're like, am I in a fucking sauna? So it's up at that level, guys, where you're not going to be able to cool off by going into the ocean. Again, this is not a problem for humans as much as it's a problem for fish, but it's also a bigger problem if this hot water stays for the next couple of weeks. Hurricane season, which already started, hurricanes start to make their way across the Atlantic, find this warm water, and strengthen on that warm water, and then move its way up the East Coast. Because this hot water, if you will, is probably going to make its way up the East Coast. And it's definitely going to cause a problem, because hotter the water, stronger the hurricanes, right? The stronger that it generates energy from it, sorry. And it's going to move its way up the East Coast. How many of these can we go through? Now, we haven't seen a hurricane up here, New York, in about 11 to 12 years. But if this hot water phenomenon keeps happening or stays, we could see, and Florida as well, can see bad hurricanes. Now, again, the reason for the bad hurricanes is not just bad hurricanes. Let me also say that Florida could see bad rainstorms, because if the water is evaporating into the air, causing more precipitation in the air, which is then going to, in turn, cause heavier rainfall or heavier rainstorms, this can definitely start flooding out areas in Florida and along the East Coast, probably up to maybe North Carolina. Right now, if this storm is moving up east, we're going to see this rainstorm come all the way up by us. We're going to start experiencing more torrential rainstorms. Again, guys, this hot water is not just a, oh man, that sucks. It's a, this could be bad for us come the first hurricane or just regular rainstorms. We saw what happened here in New York, or upstate New York rather, and Vermont. They got destroyed with rainstorms. I didn't even think that that was possible. But Hudson Valley, New York, that's the area upstate New York, not Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival, but Hudson Valley, upstate New York, saw a record amount of rainfall that they hadn't seen in a while. Not that they never seen it, but they haven't seen it in a while. Vermont, on the other hand, was a historic event for them. They've never seen rain like that. And a lot of people in the news who were being interviewed who lived up there for a long period of time were like, we've never seen anything like this. So Vermont got their asses handed to them. So did New York. I think, guys, again, the country is going to start experiencing a lot of weird weather anomalies, things they haven't seen in a long time, or things they've never seen before. These are just things to keep in the back of your head, because it could happen. Now, in Spain, they had some kind of flash flood. I saw this video. I got to see if I can find it, but it was on Funky Prepper's Instagram page. You can head over to Instagram and look up the Funky Prepper or Funky Prepper, and he had a video of people in Spain on top of their cars floating down, I guess, a river, or the river that was caused by the rain. And I'm like, holy shit, this is happening all over the world, guys. It's not just happening here in the United States. Everywhere is experiencing these weather anomalies. All right, guys, so this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching.